Just on meeting? Yes, we're ready. Go ahead.
We're live?
Yep.
Okay. They always save the best to last. That's us. Here we go. Finance Committee. I will entertain a motion to approve of the minutes from the prior. Motion moved by Mr. Bruno, second by Mr. McDevitt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, let's dig right into it. The first one's from our illustrious Mr. Moore. Go ahead, dig in. It's number 2 on your agenda.
Not yet. You got to do number 1 first.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I always skip that, don't I? I skip that one other month. Number 1 is request for transfer of funds is attached for committee approval. Do I have a motion to bring that forward?
I'll put the motion forward.
Motion by Mr. Diamond, second by Mr. Bruno. Any discussion? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, now we'll go to number 2 and Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 2A is the regular journal report on transfers. Any questions on any of those transfers? Hearing none. 2B, this is an item that Tammy has worked on in conjunction with several departments that have requested amendments to the county travel policy. Office for Emergency Services is just a matter of amending job titles to reflect where we're at now. There's also a job title amendment that deals with the sheriff's office to eliminate the position of major. There is an amendment dealing help the Veterans Department that passed through the Human Services Committee to add the peer-to-peer coordinator to the list of titles that are allowed to use their own personal car rather than have to use the county pool car. And the third department, help me out, Tammy, which one is that? I'm forgetting.
I think the change, I'm not sure if you got OES, and that was just to realign their titles with the correct positions now that we have an emergency services coordinator and a director and a fire coordinator separate. And then the other change was with the CDL, and it was with the requirement of the physicals. And that was a request that came through from Kevin Hajos through self-insurance and was vetted at the Risk Management Steering Committee.
Any questions on those changes?
We need a motion to approve those. I'll entertain a motion for A, B, and C. Can we combine those, Amanda?
You don't need a motion for A. You're looking for, I think you're working just on the travel, education, and vehicle use.
Okay, so we're
That's
just
B.
item B. Okay, so do I have a motion for item B? Motion by Mr. McDevitt, second by Mr. Diamond. Discussion? Seeing none on the big board, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Here we go. Number C.
Item C also is a referral from Human Services. This is to increase the limit on the credit card that's utilized by the peer-to-peer veterans program.
Okay, do I have a motion to move that forward? By Mr. Diamond, second by Mr. McDevitt. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. Item D, I'm bringing on behalf of the real property director who's here. She was on, we were unable to do the normal meeting that we would do for her committee, so I agreed to carry her agenda on my agenda. And this first piece will close out the property, the remediation at the Mullins site, the former Mullins Iron Works. This 11,244 is the additional amount that we will need to transfer from the testing reserve to close out those project costs. So this is the last step on a long process.
I'll move it.
Okay, moved by, well, you're not on the committee. Oh, yes, you are. I'm sorry, Ms. Thomas. I had already crossed your name out here. You're my right-hand man. I mean, how did that
Oh,
happen,
boy, I will second.
right?
Must be so valuable.
Okay, thanks, Frank. Second by Mr. Bramer. Discussion.
Yes, just for my own,
Identification.
acknowledgement there. What was the final cost of that project?
It was less than the $100,000 that you predicted.
Badinga! Thank you very much.
And we've got a badinga from the floor. Okay, I call the question. Any other discussion? Do you have some discussion, Ms. Bramer? Go ahead.
Yes, I would like to thank our real property director for getting us all the way through this very long process. I know the county treasurer was involved ages ago, but Lexi really pulled us through this very laborious process of managing all the contractors. And she was on site almost daily, multiple times a day sometimes, to really make sure that they were doing everything they were supposed to do and moving us through in the middle of the winter. So I'd like to really thank you for all of your hard work.
Thank you very much, Alexi. I concur with that, Ms. Bramer. All right, now, any other discussion? Seeing none, I call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. E,
E is also on behalf of the Real Property Department, and we have to re-up the contract with the auctioneer who handles the foreclosure auction. And this was a result of a competitive process. It was an RFP best value.
okay, seems pretty self-explanatory. It's in your packet. Do I have somebody who want to bring this motion forward by Mr. Diamond, second by Mr. McDevitt? Discussion, anybody have a discussion? Ms. Bramer, you got a comment?
Yes, just could someone tell me who we picked off this
It
bid
is
sheet?
Auctions International.
Okay,
Well, actually, as a technical matter, you're picking them right now.
yeah,
But the recommendation is Auctions International.
thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Don't see any from the big board. Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we're on to number 3 on your packet. It is the referrals from the County Facilities Committee, chairman by our illustrious Supervisor McGowan, sitting on my left. Kevin, you still here? Yep, Kevin's still here. Did you want to just, Kevin, you want to make any comments about this?
Not a lot of comments to make. These are just closing out capital projects and returning the funds to the fund source, and that'll be for both A and B.
Do I have a motion to combine A and B?
I'll move these.
Okay, moved by Mr. Thomas, second by Mr. Diamond. Okay. Discussion on this motion to move A and B together. Is there any discussion on these two? Seeing none, I call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Number 4, economic growth is Ms. Hogan on? Okay, she's not. This was it's number 4 in your packet. Employment and Training Administration, request to authorize an agreement with the Greater Glens Falls Transit to expand the CDPHP cycle bike share program to Warren County in the amount of $25,000 per year, with Warren County's cost in the amount of up to $10,000. Finance Committee is to identify a source of funding to cover the county share. Okay, before I bring it to the floor, yes, Ms. Bramer.
Well, I would like to move it,
You'd like to move it? to
but
the
I'll take recommendations on where we take the money.
Okay, so she's moving to the floor. We have a second by Mr. McDevitt. Okay, now let's have a discussion on where we're going to find funding.
Lisa's actually on the,
Oh, Lisa's on? I'm sorry. Thank you, Lisa. I apologize.
Liza,
Liza, yeah, well, I even apologized twice then. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman Beatty, and thank you, Supervisor Bramer. I'm happy to answer any questions about the bike share program. We've had 2 public meetings about it, and we have a lot of private interest. And so this will be a private and public sector partnership, and it would be a pilot program that we're hoping to launch in May. The other areas are launching in April south of us, so we'll get our own launch, which is great. But I'm happy to answer any questions. We're informally up to $16,000 of other donors. That includes the city of Glens Falls, town of Queensbury, a few private businesses. And so the request is Warren County to contribute up to $10,000, but there are still donations coming in and a lot of excitement, which is wonderful.
So the total cost of this program is $25,000. Is that correct?
Correct, annually.
Per year, okay. And how much have you gotten in private funding so far?
10,000, actually 11,000.
11,000 in private funding so far. But do you include Glens Falls and Queensbury as private funding or public funding?
No, they would be public. So that's an additional 2,500 each for a total of 5,000. So total, we're at 16,000 with all verbal commitments so far. The MOUs are being drafted through Greater Glens Falls Transit and the donors.
So Liza, if you're at 16, the cost is 25. So obviously the county share at this point, if there's no other dollars coming in, would be $9,000. Is that correct?
That is correct, but we are very optimistic that there will be other donors. There's been much interest.
Okay, good, very good. All right, so can we find, how do we go about finding a funding source for this? Our contingency has how much in it, Amanda?
275,000.
It was 275, 277? Okay, I had written down 277, 275, okay. So, do I have any, Mr. Thomas?
I would say.
Our budget director would offer up the contingency. Again, it's up to 10,000. Yes, Mr. Moore?
Could I stipulate that if we do a transfer from contingency and we subsequently can confirm that this is reimbursable through the stimulus, that we return the money to contingency?
I would like that. Would that need to be amended to the motion?
Yeah, I think we would stipulate on the resolution approving the transfer, that's the way we'll handle it. So we would allow the treasurer's office to move the money back. It's not the first time we've handled a request that way.
Okay,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Diamond.
Well, Peter and I made the motion, so I'm fine amending the motion to add all
Fine
that.
amending it. Peter's fine amending it, and Mr. Diamond thirded it. So any other discussion on this? How'd you like that one, Jack? So any other discussion on this? Okay, I think it's a good program, other than I did see a couple comments by a private businessman that was concerned that would hurt his business. And I concur that it probably will affect him to some degree. So, all right, I will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, here we go. We're rolling now. This is from Supervisor Beatty. Oh, boy. Board of Elections, Billy and Beth, request to authorize an annual appropriation of $43,718 from budget code A-898.00 capital reserve election equipment to budget code A.1450421 Board of Elections equipment rental through the year 2028 to cover the cost of the leasing of the Dominion voting. Now, we discussed this in committee fairly extensively. Is Bill or Beth still on? Bill, did you want to make any comments on this, or Beth?
We just want to be able to move that money, and we would like to do it easily each year instead of going to committee each year to get the approval to move the money from the capital reserve to election rental equipment.
Okay, so this would cover, this resolution would cover through year 2028,
For
Correct.
7
Cover the 7 years of the lease.
the 7 years of the lease, correct? Okay. All right, do I have anybody who wants to move this forward? Mr. Diamond's on top of his game, second by Mr. Bruno. Do I have any discussion? Any discussion out in Heatherland? Okay, seeing none, I will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you, Beth. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
Okay, number 6, is Supervisor Frazier on? Okay, all right, number 6 is Public Health, Janelle Jones, is she here? No,
She is.
she is here?
She's on Zoom.
She's on
Yes.
Zoom, great. Hey, Janelle, how you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about number 6?
Yes, actually, I guess it's good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We're requesting to amend the county budget in the amount of $6,047 to reflect the receipt of increased funding provided by our New York State Early Intervention Program grant. That funding went from $24,644 to $30,691. We just need the ability to be able to accept that additional funding.
Okay, do I have someone want to move that motion by Mr. Bruno, second by Mr. Diamond? Any discussion? Seemed fairly clear cut. Any discussion, question? None? Seeing none, I call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, number 7. Thank you, Janelle. Appreciate it. Keep up the great work. Referrals from the Human Services Committee chaired
I
by,
will move A and B.
okay, we've got a motion to move A and B combined. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Diamond. Okay, what do we got here, Mr. Driscoll?
Well, Mr. Hatchett's on the
Is he on?
Zoom, so yeah.
Okay.
If you'd like to comment.
Great, I appreciate that. Mr. Hanchett, dig in.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. These are just two items that are moving some money around here. We need to put 6,500 into our revenue and expense accounts for money that we got from OCFS for a program for children and youth who are aging out of our foster care program. This is money that will cover things like car insurance, rent, security deposits, furniture, stuff like that. The other part of this is letter B is to amend our budget to increase the revenue and expense accounts to reflect a gift from the Warren County Children's Committee. Just to clarify that too, this is not a new grant or anything. This is an extension of an existing grant slash gift that they started last year and are continuing this year. So we're very pleased to get this money. It funds a very important employee in our organization. It's a community services worker who works directly with children who are in foster care and sometimes preventive services. So thank you for that. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Okay, do I hear any questions from anyone? Okay, I do have a motion on the floor, correct, Amanda?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much, Mr. Hanchett.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, we're rolling along and now on number 8, Yogi Berra's number, if you're a Yankee fan.
Yes.
Now, Yogi says referral from the Public Safety Committee. This is chaired by Supervisor Leggett, who has left the arena, and Sheriff LaFar. Sheriff LaFar on the phone?
No.
Seems like both have left the arena. Okay, so let's read it together.
I'll move A and B.
Oh, I love that. Moved A and B together by Ms. Bramer, second by Mr. Thomas. Okay. Are there any questions? I'll ask for discussion. You guys can all read, so I was thinking, well, I'll read it to you, but I'm pretty sure everybody's got that capability. Obviously, there's that school resource officers contract, that's part B, and that's always been fairly important to everyone. Okay, so is there any discussion on A and B of 8, number 8? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. 9 is from Chairman Conover. And Kevin, you're still here too? Yep. He's still here. You gotta love Kevin. He hangs right in there. All right. So 9A. Kevin, what do you got? Thank you.
I don't think this is on, so would you rather have me sit it?
Yeah, just take it. Yeah, that's great.
So 9A is a request to close again, similar to facilities, a couple of our capital projects to return the funding to the fund source.
Okay. Do I have anybody want to bring that?
I will move A and B.
Move A and B combined. We have A and B combined. Do I have a second on that? Mr. Diamond? Okay. Any discussion on A and B combined? Hearing none, seeing none. I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. C?
C is a request to establish a reserve fund for, as you all know, we took possession of the brine machine. We had more than one town help us with the cost of that brine machine along with a grant, and the extra money from that was taken in, which was above and beyond what we paid for it. We'd like to put into a reserve account to be used for maintenance for the brine machine.
Makes sense to me. Do we have somebody want to move that motion? Mr. Diamond, top of the game, second by Mr. Bruno. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, D.
D and E are together. D is to request and establish a road project, County Route 22 Harrisburg Road, in the amount of $219,211.01. And the next request is to authorize appropriation of funds. This is the extreme winter recovery money from last year that we had just not put to a project code yet.
Okay, do I have somebody who wants to move D and E together? Moved by Mr. Bruno, second by Mr. Diamond. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, I will call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carry. Thank you very much, Kevin. 10, we're on 10 now. 10, Finance Committee actions required on the following items approved by Personnel Administration and Higher Ed. Agendas, items 6, 7, 9, and 10.
Mr. Beatty,
Yes.
I'm sorry, can I point out that item 7 doesn't require finance committee action any longer? That's the one we talked about. We're really not amending the table of organizations for those Board of Elections positions. It's just going to be amending a prior resolution. And then item 10, the treasurer had asked that item to be deferred to next month.
Okay, so this will then, thank you very much, Amanda. This will be just for items 6 and 9. 6 and 9. So in your packet,
I will move both of those 6 and 9, the IT money and the solid waste recycling coordinator.
okay, so moved 6 and 9 combined, second by Mr. Diamond. Discussion. Seeing and hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carry. Okay, we're on to we're on Roman numeral 4. It's Mr. Beatty requests that the attorney in the county's office who is handling the contract with Bronze Contracting attend the next finance meeting to provide an overview of the county's options in terms of seeking reimbursement for the additional cost of the project. So, Mary, can you give us a little update?
Sure. So I believe, I don't know if it was this committee meeting or personnel, you guys allowed Lexi to pay Bronze the extra $11,000. So that's taken care of with that resolution. I'm not sure if this is regarding the contract with ATL. But it's my understanding, we wrote a letter to ATL and said we weren't going to pay any costs associated with the generator, travel time, and something else. And they came back and said, that's fine. They won't charge us for it. So I'm not even sure that we have any additional costs at this moment.
Oh, that's a win for the big team. All right.
That would put it over.
That's a W. Mr. Moore has his hand up.
I'll just add to that in the piece that I brought to this committee on behalf of Lexi. If you look at the calculation that's in your packet, there's $960 that's deducted out of the bill for Bronze. And that's in reference to, they did make good on their word that there was an additional, help me out with the technical term, Claudia, that ATL had to do, a variance. And they had said, we'll cover the cost of that variance. They held to their word on that.
Well, good. Nice to see a company hold to their word. Thank you. Ms. Bramer?
I want to point out that is true. They held to their word. And that was partly because our real property director went back to them and held them to their word, and along with assistance from the county attorney's office. So it was
So that gun to the head worked then.
yes.
Okay, very
Don't
good.
not that analogy, but yes, Lexi worked very hard. She went through those bills line by line to make sure they weren't charging anything, not an extra generator per half a day or anything.
I think we'd all concur with that
Yes.
too. Yes, she did a phenomenal job. She's not here.
Yeah.
I was going to personally.
Lunch.
She's at lunch. Mr. Diamond will be buying the hot dogs today at DJ, so everybody get in line. So that, we call that question. Thank you very much, Mary, for updating us. Privilege of the floor. Anybody got any comments they want to make? Mr. Driscoll.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to take the opportunity to inform people, if you don't read the morning and the evening COVID reports, we still have a lot of work to do. My son just texted me that today's New York Mets Washington National game was postponed for COVID reasons. There's a lot of stuff still happening out there. Be vigilant, mask, social distance, don't congregate in large crowds. Be smart and again, follow the information that we're receiving and share that with your constituents, coworkers, everyone that you come in contact with. We still have a lot of work to do. Thanks.
Sound advice, Mr. Driscoll. Thank you. Any other privilege of the floor? Anybody out there want to say hello or goodbye? Nobody? Okay. Don Lehman, is there anybody wanting to opine from the public?
Hello, Chairman Beatty. No public comment at this time, I'm sorry to say.
Well, I'm
You
not.
tried. You did your
Yeah.
best to get the public involved. I will give you that, but no one
Oh, I was
has
trying
taken
to
the
get
bait.
some comment. Okay, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Bruno, second by Mr. Diamond. He got his last one in. Okay, all in favor of adjourning? Opposed? Okay, Dawn?